The movie begins in LA. Emily is a young artist who dreams of visiting South America someday, but the girl is down on her luck. Due to a prior criminal record, she is unable to get a good enough job to balance her college debt and her life. Emily is giving a job interview, when her interviewer asks her to tell him about her criminal record. She lies, saying that she got a DUI, but the guy catches her lying, saying that he actually had done a background check on her. He says that they should begin again, and this time, to be honest with each other. He asks her about the assault that she was convicted of. At first, Emily tries to play along, but soon gets pissed off. She confronts the guy for tricking her, to which he replies, he has to sometimes do this because people are not honest in the first place, and that this is an important job. But Emily feels violated and humiliated, and storms out of there. She works for a catering company as a private contractor, which hardly pays her well enough to make ends meet. One day, she helps out her coworker by covering his shift, so that he can take his son to a game. He in return, links her up with the contact of a dummy shopper service. A dummy shopper is someone who buys property on behalf of another person, to conceal the buyer's identity. Emily is enticed by the idea, as her coworker tells her that through this job, she will be able to make $200 an hour. That night she texts the number Javier gave her, and they give her an address and a time. After that, she goes to hang out at a bar with an old college friend. Emily tells her how she might have to move in with her stepdad to save some money, and Liz tells her she can't. To help out Emily, Liz says that she will talk to her boss, and vouch for her. After that, they drink and get high. When Emily gets there, we find out that this particular dummy shopper service is actually a credit card fraud ring. One of the leaders is Khalil, who works on creating false identity documents for their agents. The other man is named Yosef. Yosef debriefs the participants, telling them that all that will be required of them is to make a purchase, using one of the stolen credit cards. For this, they will each be paid $200. He is aware that this requires committing a crime, and says that if anyone is uncomfortable, they can leave. After listening to Yosef, Emily decides that the idea is too risky, and gets up to leave. But Yosef convinces her to give it a go. Emily's first job is to purchase a plasma TV with a stolen card and a fake ID. She reluctantly agrees. To her amazement, the job goes smoothly, and this prompts her to apply for a second one. This time the stakes are high, as she has to buy a car with a no-limit credit card, but Yosef tells her that she will receive $2,000 for it. The next day, Emily goes to work with Javier, and there is a small mishap where the food they're delivering spills. As she's cleaning up, she gets a call from Liz, who tells her that her company isn't looking to hire anyone at the moment, so the job thing won't be able to go through. Emily asks her if she really talked to her boss or not, and Liz is offended. Emily hangs up, and later is seen cleaning up in the bathroom, when she takes out the phone Yosef gave her, but does not text him. She dumps the phone in the bin, and walks out. But then something makes her reconsider and look back. Just then she hears a message ping, and digs the phone out of the bin to see that there is a message from Yosef, asking her if she's in or out. Emily tells Javier to handle the rest of the shift, giving him her delivery money, and makes her way to the job. Once there, Yosef hands her the card and some other documents. He tells her, she will have 8 minutes to leave the building with the purchased car after the card is rung up. Because otherwise she will be caught. Emily is still hesitant about the entire thing, and asks him how she knows that this is safe. Yosef tells her that she doesn't. And if she wants out, no one is stopping her. She ends up going through it, and walking inside the building. There she meets the guy and purchases the car, her eyes on the clock as he swipes the card, and carefully checks her ID and documentation. As she's about to leave, he hands her a form to fill out, which takes up a few more minutes. Emily is shown the car, but just as she's about to drive it away, the guy tells her to stop and come inside for a minute, due to a detail they missed. When Emily shows resistance, the man attacks her, and Emily barely makes it out further unharmed. She is visibly shaken and yells at Yosef, who asks her what happened when he sees her bloody face. She takes her money, and walks away, but breaks down. Yosef follows her and offers her a ride home. And once there, offers to pack ice for her wounds. They get to talking, and Yosef discovers her sketches. He shares his own dreams of buying some rental property, from the money he will make through the fraud money. Emily asks her how much a person can make, if they do what he does, and at her request, agrees to show her how it all works. The next day at work, Emily's boss asks her about her ditching work the previous day. She apologizes for it, saying that it was an emergency, but he cuts back her work, prompting an argument. Next, Yosef invites Emily to the warehouse, and shows her how to make fake credit cards. He also hands her a taser for her protection, and advises her not to sell the stolen goods from her home, or scam the same place twice a week. That night, Emily goes home and starts working on her own, making the fake cards, and then carrying out the scams. She gets good at selling scammed products, and makes some good cash in a short amount of time. During this, she continues working her catering job. Liz, who is off to Portugal, leaves her dog with Emily to dog sit. She also apologizes to Emily about the job, saying that she will manage something, she is just waiting for the right moment. One day, Emily goes to see Yosef, and he is impressed by the work she has done so far. He says he will hook her up with more numbers with a larger limit, so she can make bigger purchases. Khalil comes in, and asks them what's up. Yosef then lies about Emily's involvement in their fraud circle. One night, one of her buyers follows Emily to her place, and breaks in. They hold her down while they rob her, and also take the dog. After they leave, Emily gets up and goes after them. She uses her taser, and reclaims her money and Liz's dog, showing that she is done taking other people's shit, and won't stand for it anymore. Some days later, Emily attends a party at Liz's place, where she returns her dog to her. There, Liz tells Emily that there is a job opening, and Liz has gotten her an interview with her boss Alice. Emily also invites Yosef to the party, and after he offers to pretend to be her boyfriend, the two of them start to date. One day, Yosef invites Emily for lunch at his place, where she gets along well with everyone, and is having a good time, when Khalil reveals that Emily has been caught hitting the same store twice within a week, prompting the store to post security footage of her online. This leads to a falling out between Yosef and Khalil, who cuts him out of the fraud ring. Emily attends the job interview with Alice, which goes well, until Alice mentions that the position she is applying for is an internship, and it will be unpaid for the first 5 to 6 months. This angers Emily, because she cannot work regular hours without any pay, while being in debt up to her eyeballs. When Emily objects, Alice insults her, calling her spoiled, saying that when she was her age, she was working in a room full of men. But Emily points out that she was at least working. The interview dissolves badly, and Emily storms out of there. Yosef reveals to Emily that Khalil has not been paying him for several months. Further, the owner of the rental property he plans to purchase, requests an immediate down payment, and so he decides to rob the fraud ring itself. After her interview, Yosef and Emily arrive at the ring storage unit, to find that Khalil has already taken everything, as well as having emptied their shared business bank account. Yosef goes off on Emily, blaming her for everything that happened, saying that this all happened because she scammed the same store twice a week, even though he told her not to do it. Emily rebuts this, saying Khalil was going to do this to Yosef all along, because Yosef never stood up to him. She says that they need to go talk to Khalil, but Yosef is hesitant. He wants to think the situation through, as Khalil is a serious threat. But Emily says that there is nothing to think about, that Khalil should be scared of them, as they are serious people too and can be dangerous. She says that this is all about people taking and taking from you, until you make the rules yourself. She finally convinces Yosef to confront Khalil at his safe house, where they attempt to ambush him. Emily pretends to be delivering food, to taser one of the guys who gets the door. They take his phone and put him in the trunk of a car. Sneaking in, they text the other guys to go out, as they make their way up to where Khalil is. When they finally get there though, Khalil is nowhere to be seen. As they split up to find him, Emily discovers that Khalil has severely injured Yosef, who is knocked unconscious. Khalil attacks Emily and holds her down, attempting to choke her. Thinking quickly, Emily takes out a box cutter from her pocket, and stabs him. He falls to the floor, and Emily threatens him to confess where the money is. At first, he keeps saying that there is no money in the house, but Emily counts to 3, saying that she will slit his throat on 3, and Khalil finally fesses up that there is cash in the fridge. Getting that, Emily helps Yosef walk to the car. Once there, she asks him for his keys, but they have been lost somewhere in the events of the night. Yosef is in a bad condition, and finally faints, as police sirens sound in the night. Crying, Emily makes the decision to take the money and leave Yosef there in the car. She walks away and gets to a bus stop, where she cleans herself up, and decides to keep going. Next, the police break into Emily's apartment in the city, but they find it to be abandoned. Emily has traveled to South America by herself, and is seen enjoying the sights. She sketches and takes a swim in the ocean. Eventually, she settles down there, recruiting a couple of people to be dummy shoppers. She gives them a briefing, similar to the one Yosef had given at the beginning, telling them that the choice is theirs to make, whether they wish to do something illegal or not.